Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Offset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it as well, and don't forget, leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And stick around to the end of the video because I have 2 positive comments from previous videos that I'm going to read to you guys. So stick around and see if maybe one of my favorites was your comment. All right, guys. Sometimes you guys know I get these really funny questions, and the funny questions really amuse me, and they make me laugh as I'm musing on what to say about them. So somebody said to me, will Aquarius ever realize that some things are best left unsaid? I heard this question and cracked up. This came from a woman who's in a relationship with an Aquarius man. Now, as soon as she said it, all of the lights went off in my head because I totally understand this situation. You have 2 things that go on with this, and I'm going to tell you both of them. One of them is that Aquarius think differently than most people. So some of the times we say things that we think are innocent, maybe joking or something like that, that other people are not fucking amused. They're just not. But we don't know that because it amuses us. So we can't differentiate between what to say and what not to say in those instances. And for most of us, we're probably more than likely going to say it and realize after it's already been said that maybe I shouldn't have said that based on the other person's reaction to what we just said. So this happens a lot. I know a lot of Aquarius to say things that I be looking at them like, why would you say that? They think it's funny, and I'm looking at them like, okay. Weird sense of humor sometimes. And I can tell the other person did not think it was funny. And I see this a lot with couples. A lot with couples, like in the case of this one. Wherever the Aquarius is the female or the male, I've seen a lot of cases of them saying things to their significant other that they don't think is a big deal. They're just joking. Like I had told you once before, I have this Aquarius friend that always jokes about sleeping with his wife's mom and auntie and grandmother, people like that, people that are old that he never would actually do this with, and he thinks is so fucking funny. And I'll be looking at him like, that is not funny. And his wife be looking at him like she just ignores him. She's been with him so long at this point that she totally ignores everything that comes out of his mouth. But I catch it and I'm like, what did you just say? So he doesn't mean no harm by it. He thinks it's funny, but it's not funny. It's not funny to anybody but him. And he is one of those kind of people, like many Aquarius, who just want to be themselves. So remember, like I said, a lot of times we won't even think it's anything to it. We just be ourselves. We just say what comes out of our mouth. Sometimes we just blurt out things that we're thinking. So that happens a lot. So when she says some things are best left unsaid, I'm like, yeah, and most Aquarius, or at least Aquarius that are like him, will figure them out after they've already said them. And therein lies the problem. And then I have another time when this happens. This happened to me many times. Sometimes people push Aquarius to give them an answer because Aquarius is not giving them an answer. You guys know we have problems with communication sometimes. So sometimes an Aquarius will not give a person an answer fast enough, or they're vague. And the other person is like, look, it's been 2 weeks. Can you just answer the question? And the Aquarius hasn't finished emotionally going through the changes of the question to be able to answer it. So the other person is irritated, and the Aquarius is usually not clear on what they think and feel about it yet. So I'll give you a perfect example. This is a bad thing. You should never push an Aquarius to give you an answer if they're not giving you an answer. You should compromise with them to have some type of a time frame. And I'll give you an example of this. I was living with the woman. She was an Aquarius, but she was a January Aquarius. And first decan, and I'm a third decan. And it wasn't working. It worked a little bit sometimes, but most of the time it didn't. So we were having a conversation because I had shut off. I had completely shut off. I wasn't really talking to her. I wasn't sleeping in the room with her. I wasn't home most of the time. I had like totally shut off. And one day she cornered me when I came in, and she was like, look, I want to know where this is going. What is happening with our relationship? What are we doing here? And I had not given it any thought. I just was shut off. I had just got to the point where I was just tired of trying, so I just stopped. So she was like, what is the deal? What are we doing? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. And she was so angry with me. And I was just like, look, let me just think about it. And she was like, you had time to think about it. You had months to think about it. And she was livid. She was livid. She had up the hair with me not being communicative. And she was like, you've had months to think about it. Tell me where we stand. Tell me where this is going. And I didn't know. How am I going to answer the question? And I don't know. So she keep pushing me and yelling at me. She was pissed. She's the only woman who's ever been in my life romantically who tried to beat me up. I've never had that problem with another woman. This one woman tried to kick my ass. And this was way before this happened. She tried one night, and I say try because I stopped her. But the point of the matter was that she had a tendency to get very angry with me and very aggressive. So this particular day, she wasn't hitting, but she was screaming, and she wanted me to answer her damn question. And I had no answers for her. I was still trying to figure out. It was so involved, and I couldn't figure out if I should keep trying, keep working on it. We were living together. It was my home, but we had our kids. She financially really, I didn't feel like she could make it without me, but she needed some time to save up some money. I mean, both of us were kind of dependent on each other as far as that was concerned. And I didn't really need it, but she needed some time if she was going to be the one leaving. So I didn't know if we should do that or if we should try. And I was stuck there. I was stuck between trying and not trying. I was really tired. I was really exhausted. Part of me didn't want to try anymore. And part of me was like, look, y'all live together. You're in this relationship. Give it a Hercules effort. So I'm struggling with these two parts of myself. She's screaming at me to answer her questions, to give her validation, to, explain what we're going to do. And I don't know. So the more she yelled at me, the more she screamed at me, everything I thought and felt blurted out. And this is not good. I don't like, and I still don't like this, I don't like blurting out how I feel. I want to think about my feelings. I want to know them before I say them. Very Aquarius. And that moment I didn't. And all I knew was all of the things that were jumbled in my head. So she kept screaming at me and yelling at me, and everything that was jumbled came out. And as you can probably imagine, it was pretty ugly. It wasn't the nicest things, and it wasn't the way I would have said it. If I had had time, I would have said it nicely, at least. Maybe not nicely, but at least compassionately. I just blurted out, all the things I was feeling. I really don't want to be with you anymore. I really don't like you. I hate to see you fucking coming through the door. Like, it just came out, and it all came out for like 10 minutes. And she was standing there shocked, like with her mouth and eyes open, like, I can't believe you've been thinking all this time. And I had been thinking all this time, but I was trying to think if I was right, if I was wrong. I hadn't finished my process. So she made me speak on it before I was done with the process. So you gonna get what you get. You gonna get the jumble stuff that's going on in my mind. Give me a chance to work it out first. And she wouldn't. So we broke up. And it took a little bit of time because she was supposed to leave and she didn't, but she eventually left. So the bottom line is that never push an Aquarius to give you an answer. If they're not giving you an answer, it's because they don't have one. What she should have done was say, hey, well, look, I know you need some more time to think. It's Friday. Do you think we can talk about this next Friday? Do you think by next Friday you'll be in a space where you'll know your feelings and be ready to talk about them? That's all she had to say. Logical as hell. And I would have been like, all right, bet. Let's, 5 o'clock next Friday, let's get together and talk. But she wasn't in the emotional space, I don't think, to be able to do that. She was just so pissed and so fed up. So you'll get more from your Aquarius if you handle it like that than if you snap on them and just try to demand that they tell you whatever it is you want to know. Demanding an Aquarius to do anything is either going to get nothing or not what you want. It's always best to be like, look, can we make an appointment? Can we do this on Sunday? Can we get together? Try to, compromise with them a time frame that they can work through their thoughts, they can gather their thoughts and be ready to talk. So, do Aquarius ever realize that some things are best left unsaid? Yeah, and in that case, we try not to say them. And the other person is pushing. And in the other case that I was talking about, they don't realize, like, my Aquarius, my buddy that I was telling you guys about, he don't realize that those things are best left unsaid. And when I say it, he think I'm crazy. So in those instances, no, they don't know that. And when the other person responds or reacts, that's when they know that. But like I said to you guys before, most of the time in those situations, the Aquarius really did not mean anything by it. They just think it was funny and were not as sensitive as most people. Like I remember one time, the same Aquarius was telling me that there's this guy at his job, and this is a very Aquarius thing. There's this guy at his job, and homeboy always talking smack. So people at work that's always talking smack. So this guy is always talking smack at work. And he said something to my Aquarius friend, and my Aquarius friend laughed about it. He was teasing him, he laughed about it. And then my Aquarius friend said something back, like, messing with him, poking at him. And homeboy got upset. And it was like, how is that? How are you getting upset? I didn't get upset when you started teasing me, so why are you upset when I tease you? So, like I said, Aquarius don't always know that some things are best left unsaid. Now, let's take a look at the positive comments that I really enjoyed from the comment section. Here's the first one. This one came from Kristen Osada. Osada. Hey, Kristen. And Kristen subscribed 3 weeks ago. Oh, you're new. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the party. So Kristen said, you all do have beautiful souls. She's talking about Aquarius. Deep and loving. The emotions roll through your eyes from time to time, and it both makes me sad and warms my heart. Yes, if you look at an Aquarius's eyes, you can see all the emotions that they're holding back. You can see it if you're that skilled. Kristen, it looks like, is a Cancer, so she probably feels it too. So I agree with you 100%, and thank you for being here, Kristen. DJ Veggies. She says, sis, I completely get this. It's so difficult to let go, but my common sense has always been bigger than my emotions. And that's something I appreciate about being Aquarius. The lessons are important. I love what I learned, even though the whole situation got me fucked up. Laugh out loud. But hey, it is what it is. Has been a mantra close to me. Yeah, it is what it is. I say that a lot. It is what it is. I appreciate a wise ass Aquarius. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you. And you're 100% correct. Our emotions are very strong, but that logic will take over. It's just that our brain has to get it. Once our brain gets it, we don't care how we feel. We'll tell our feelings to shut up and we'll do the smart thing. And then those of us who know this will later deal with our emotions and not allow them to build up. Now, the problem is when I was younger, I didn't know the second part. I would just compartmentalize. I would stuff the feeling. I would deal with the logic. I would move on. But that drawer was full of stuff that I had stuffed in it. And that's where the Aquarius has to be careful. All right, guys, I am done. So if you like this video, please pass it on to somebody else. And if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I'll hook you up. All right, guys, take care and see you later.